Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage here, and today I have the one and only Jeremy Forcier. What's up, my brother?
What's up, Savage? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. So
Cool.
I have interviewed you countless times. Maybe I don't. I know it's not over 100, but it's an insane amount. What kind of production are you doing right now? How often are you meeting with new home buyers, new leads, just to get a feel for how
Yeah.
busy you are?
Super busy, not without challenges, just like everyone else out there, but I'm doing great, man. I'm closing between 20 and 30 deals a month right now, personal production side. So about 100 to 140 referrals a month. So I'm talking to a lot of people. I talk to about 80% of those leads personally every single month. So that gives you an idea of how many people I'm talking to.
Yeah, and I could tell you're doing a lot of total cost analysis. Everyone on this call, you're talking to a guy who's done thousands of total cost analysis reports. If you want to hear some scripting and how Jeremy does that, I'm actually putting a link below. That call last year you did with Tim Brahim on scripting was just
Okay.
epic. So that's below.
Awesome.
So today we want to talk about realtor interviews, and I know you've got some value to talk about how to get the meeting with the agents, but I really want to just know, at least in this conversation, what are the questions you're asking, and how are you as a mortgage coach, having a great conversation, a great meeting that comes out with hopefully a next step in business. What's that
Sure.
sound like, my friend?
Yeah, no problem. So the context of this, just to make sure everyone's crystal clear, is that I am meeting with a realtor face to face. Okay. So I'm meeting with a realtor face to face, and it's probably like my first or second meeting, right? It's my first real meeting. So I think the context is really important, Dave, just because it's different otherwise. The conversations are different and how like trying
Right.
to get an appointment versus like actually sitting in one. So real simply, the first question I always ask, like if you were the agent, I would ask you, hey, so where are you having most of your success right now in your business? Where are you having most of your success right now in your business? It's really important to start off on a high note, like where are you having your success? I know you're successful. I know that you're doing really well in the market. By the way, even if you don't know, I mean, they'll tell you if they're not, by the way, like if
Right.
they're not doing well. So it's a great qualifying question, but it's also a really easy icebreaker because who doesn't like to talk about what they're doing well? Everyone. So I always start with that one. Where are you having your most success right now in your business? Question number two that I always ask after I listen to them. Okay, so this is very, very important. You guys, I'm going to pause, side note here for a second, is that there's no point in asking anyone any questions ever if you're not listening. Okay, there's just no point. So set yourself up beforehand, write down the 5 questions that you're going to ask so that you're not thinking about what you're going to say next. Have it in front of you. It's okay. Honestly, I do it all. Look at, I did it even for right now, and I've done this a million times.
Right.
It keeps you on track. Write your notes underneath it. It shows that you're engaged. And if you look them in the eyeballs the whole time, it's going to be impossible for you to not be actively listening. Okay. So that's the side note. All right, so number one question is, where are you having most of your success? Number two question, I always flip-flop these questions, as you'll see, is where are you having your biggest pain or challenge in the market right now? Where are you having your biggest pain or challenge in your business or in the market right now? That, once again, is such an important question, too, because if you're a commodity, it doesn't really matter what their pain is. It doesn't matter what their success is. If you are there to help them be successful, you have to know what the problem is so you can solve that or help them solve that. So very, 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 very important to ask them where their pain or challenge is. Some really, really basic answers that you'll get a lot of the time is stuff not closing on time, borrowers leaving the lender that I referred them to halfway through, and or I don't know the lender and it blows up, et cetera, et cetera. Side note on this, that is an excellent opportunity to talk about, acknowledge, and say, oh, I totally understand. It happens all the time. We use this great system. It's called Mortgage Coach Edge, where everyone gets a copy of a link where they click on it and there's a video presentation that pops up. They can do it from their mobile phone. I can update it from my mobile phone, and I explain the process and how everything works, so it really educates them and they don't want to go use anyone else. I include you on all of those presentations as well, so that you're in the loop and you know exactly what's going on and they feel tied to you as well. So it's a great time to do that.
So time out. So while having Mortgage Coach be part of the conversation, it's not like you just kind of have it as a talking point. You usually find an opportunity where, based off of an answer that an agent gets, and now it's time to say, hey, this is how I'm different, this is how I'm better. I give every family a total cost analysis.
Yes.
And then you explain the link. Do you have your mobile device with you, and do you ever show it to them?
Yep. So, so it's funny because I just said you have to be an active listener. Most of the time, they're not actively listening to you. Okay. It's just a fact. And that's okay. But that's why we're better, right? We're mortgage coaches. So it's kind of a trip. Like, you'll be saying all this and I'm like waiting for them to say, oh, I'd love to see that. And sometimes they'll just blow right past it, right? If they blow right past it, I don't ever make anything weird. I'm pretty fluid and I just roll with it. But 50% of the time they'll go, oh gosh, I would love to see what one of those looks like. Really? Awesome. Check it out. Pull out your phone, have your laptop there, whatever, and you can show them right there in the moment. So so you're at a 50-50 shot of showing them the technology right there in the moment. And by the way, it's always impressive. So, and Dave, at the end, I'll tie in how I explain the Mortgage Coach experience at the end of my presentation, because I always do at the end. And then they always get a follow-up email with an example, like a scenario link with a video for them. So anyway, that's number 2 question is, what types of pain or challenges are you having right now in your business? Okay. Number 3, and this is a little bit different. So I've added a question basically from the last time that we've talked about this. Question number 3 that I always ask is, do you have a goal for how many families you want to help per year? Do you have a goal for how many families you want to help per year? So this question is a little bit more for me selfishly than it is for them. It's a qualifying question on me trying to understand, is this really someone that I can spend a lot of energy on or a little of energy on? Because if they're only, if they don't have a goal, which 70% don't, right? Just a fact. 70% of people are running around like crazy, driving, showing homes, writing contract. Oh, accepted, declined, big money 1 month, no money for 3 months. It's just the way it is. Okay. Don't try to change it, but know what you're dealing with. So 70% of the time you'll get, no, I've never really thought about that. So the follow-up question, if they haven't thought about that, is, well, do you know how many families you closed or how many houses you sold in the last 12 months? Right. So I'm trying to get them to focus on families, not homes. Do they have a business plan? Do they know how many they want to do? If they say 24, I'm like, awesome, that's a good realtor for me to talk to, right? If they say 4, I'm thinking, not awesome, can't really help them unless they're brand new, and I'll just put them on my email campaign and I probably won't follow up with them again. So that's a new question that I've added into the middle. Next question is...
Hey, real quick, Jeremy, I do want to make sure everybody caught the family. Your language matters, and even though you may feel like I'm the heart of a teacher, I'm a service provider, if your language doesn't match, it's not congruent. And so, I've interviewed you a lot of times, and it's clear that you just want to help people, you want to create value, you want to make change. But that language, that's an evolution from the last interview we did. So hopefully everybody caught it, and hopefully everybody in our community, the Mortgage Coach community, that's the way you'll ask the question. And one last thought. We're at number 3, and there's been some takeaways. Down below, you can, like this video. If you like this conversation we're having, like it, share it, but also let us know what questions you're asking. Put it in the comments below of this YouTube. We'd love to know what questions you're asking your realtors during meetings. Anyways, keep it going, brother.
Okay, cool. And I'll recap the 3 quickly at the end, because I know we're going into like takeaways as well during them. But to your point about the families, I changed that in my business, you guys. And Dave, I changed this in my business, 18 months ago. I changed all my goals and everything that's all over my office, from like the unit goal and all of that, closings goal. I took all of that verbiage out, and it's families everywhere. There's no more units anymore. There's no more volume. It's number of families served on all of my goal sheets everywhere. And you know what? It's a game changer for my team, for myself. Like, we think differently now because that's what we look at all the time.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's a conversation that's big in our community.
yeah.
Justin Tucker, the chief marketing officer for WFG Title, him and I have been talking about that a lot. We've been creating a lot of content around it. Now we're trying to figure out how not to say the word lead, so we're not so focused on lead conversion. You
Right.
know, you can't say
Family
family
conversion.
conversion, no, but it's opportunities,
There you go. Yeah,
making friends. Anyways,
that's it.
let's keep it
Yeah,
going here.
yeah. How about service opportunities?
Service opportunities. I like that.
I love it. Cool. So question number 4 for me is, what are your 3 non-negotiables in a business or personal relationship? So once again, focus on the language I used. What are your 3 non-negotiables? I say in your business, and I added your personal relationships. Because here's the thing. Most people are going to ask you this, by the way, when you say that, they're going to go, I don't know. What do you mean? It's the funniest thing because everyone's so shallow these days. Everything's so easy. No one talks to each other anymore. No one thinks about like what their core values are. So literally these simple questions are hard for some people to answer. They're like, yeah, I don't really know. And you got to like kind of drag it out of them a little bit, right? So business and personal non-negotiables. Most people will say, I don't really know. Like, what do you mean? And I'll expand on it. Well, what are the 3 most important things to you when you're working with someone or just in your relationships in general? And then they start to go, okay, important, not non-negotiable. They start to get down the path. But I will tell you that almost 100% of the time, 2 of the 3, if not all 3, will result around communication. Okay? 1 of the 3, if 2 of the 3, if not 3 of the 3, will be some form of communication, like that's what's most important to them. So honesty, that's communication in a way, right? They're going to say communication, follow up, like it's all communication based for the most part, right? So that's number 4 that I ask. Number 5 that I ask is, if you could change anything about the mortgage process, what would it be and why? If you could change anything about the mortgage process, what would it be and why? So the reason why I always like to end there in that realm is that they're going to tell you everything that they don't like about their current lender. Okay, so you're going to get insight without having to say, hey, I know you work with Dave Savage, he's a pretty good guy, but like, what don't you like about him? You don't have to, you don't have to say that. You can use the question as the setup of, hey, in your experience, what's the one thing you would change about the mortgage process? What's the biggest pain in the ass that you experience on a weekly basis when dealing with a lender? Like, you can really set them up, man, for like crucifixion. So it's a great question. And outside of that, you get great insight really on where is their pain point that maybe you can fix, because we can control a lot of the stuff on the mortgage side, right? We can't control rates. We can't control product offerings. We can't control, full doc requirements, but we can control speed. We can control communication, and we can control the feeling of the transaction. So that's what I'm looking for from the agent when I ask that question. Like, is it a feeling thing that they're saying? Is it a speed thing that they're saying? Or is it a communication thing that they're saying? Because I can fix all 3 of those things.
Love that. What a smart question to ask.
And that's it. Basically, I close at that point. I summarize everything that I said. So if we were doing this together, if this was a role play, I'd say, well, Dave, I told you it would only be, 15 to 30 minutes. Looks like we're at 24 minutes. I want to respect your time. So it looks like you're having your biggest success with first-time homebuyers. That's fantastic. I love working with first-time homebuyers. So notice what I do, okay? I summarize everything that they said back to me. That's why you write it down. And I talk about how great I am at it, or how I'm like that too. Unless I'm not, I can't be unauthentic, right? If she said I'm having success in doing short sales and finding distressed people, I mean, I would probably just go, sounds like you're having a lot of success in short sales. That's awesome. And I'd go to the next one. Right. but if I can be of service and I have like something that's good, that can be a good partnership there, I will highlight it. So number 2, biggest pain and challenge, getting offers accepted. I know this is a challenge right now. Here's what I'm doing. We do a fully underwritten pre-approval. I know people say that they do it. They are liars. Have them show you a copy of a fully underwritten approval if they say that they do that. We guarantee a 15-day close, or we will pay the seller $1,000 per day if your borrower has been fully underwritten and approved, and there are no subject to items on the appraisal and no negotiations at time of contingency release. They're always like, what? Yeah, we'll do that. So notice once again, it doesn't matter what the answer is. If that was the answer, I'm giving you my answer to the problem. You have to do this, you guys. You have to have an answer to the questions. Okay. Third one, how many families? Oh, it looks like, Dave, it looks like you're going to, shoot for 20 families served this year. That is awesome. I'd be more than happy to go more in depth with you on business planning. I really believe in it. And I run a business planning workshop every year. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Number 4, Dave, it looks like your 3 non-negotiables all resulted around communication. I absolutely love and am huge on communication. You will get open communication not only from me, but my team as well. And you will be CC'd on these amazing video presentations that I do with, it's called Mortgage Coach Edge. So I can send you an example of one. I can show you one right now if you'd like to see one, so you can see what our communication style is with our clients and agents. Number 5, if you could change one thing, it would be making sure that the appraisals can be done on time. We order all of our appraisals at initial disclosure, so there is never a lack of time on that. We don't wait for the disclosures to come back, so that will not be an issue. So based on everything that you wrote down here, Dave, I think that we'd be a great fit. I believe in earning things and that things aren't given. So the only way to really test it, though, to see if we could have a good partnership, is for you to refer me your next 2 opportunities that need financing. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair.
That's it.
Boom. So this has been awesome. And that's how you kind of drive the mortgage coach conversation at the end. You make it, this is how we deliver a great communication experience with options that you're in the loop on. So by the way.
I actually, like I said, for the most part, I show it to people if they're like, oh, let me see it right now. But for the most part, I use it as a setup for the follow-up, because I think where we lose is we don't follow up. We get excited that we had this meeting, and then we're like high-fiving people in the office. Oh, I met with James. God, he said he's going to refer us his next 2 deals, right? And then we're like 2 weeks later, like, man, I haven't heard from James.
Yeah, right.
So I like to use it as a tool. Every Friday, I review all of my meetings I had during the week. I have a half hour in the morning, and that's when I'm following up with everyone that I met with face-to-face via email. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Hey, here's the link I talked about at the client presentation, so you can see what it looks like, what your clients are going to get. So I use it as a setup a lot of the times for the next contact piece.
Yeah, no, I love that. So there will be a link to Jeremy's scripts below. Also, I mean, I've interviewed you so many times. If you go to any of our interviews, how Jeremy does a move-up analysis, how Jeremy does a first-time home buyer analysis. Those links are available, and if you can't find them somewhere, email support@mortgagecoach.com. Please like this if you thought this was valuable. Share this with your team. Have a sales meeting around it. I mean, Jeremy, your questions are brilliant. And if there are questions that you think we should consider here at Mortgage Coach, put them down below. So, brother, thanks for all the value you delivered to Mortgage Coach. I can't wait for the next call together, man.
Sweet, man. Hey, thanks for everything, Dave.
Yeah, and by the way, hooking us up with Nicole Solari was awesome. I mean, the Bill Hart interview, I've interviewed her a couple of times. Her open house strategy.
She's a stud. She's a stud. I know. It always amazes. There are so many amazing people in the world in general, and then even in our small little industry. Like, there's so many incredible people that are constantly pushing the boundaries and making me think, like, what else is possible? Like, it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah. I'm going to put a link to the Nicole Solari interview below. Top agent in Jeremy's market is, I think, closing a home every day.
It's ridiculous. She's closing more homes than I am as a lender.
Yeah, and she's been in business that's like going on her 4th year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so no, a great story. If you don't know what we're talking about, there'll be a link below. Take care, brother.
Man. Love you. Bye.